All right, video went well. Very good. So, I'd like to try something here. Just see how this rhythm goes this week. Kind of like something we were building up towards. And I'm curious if this ends up going well this week and if it ends up being too much of a struggle. If you have a lot of difficulties with something, then we'll focus on where you're having the most trouble. So each bar is a different rhythm. We've covered this one and this one. So this is the new one, and so is this. I also wrote this again, like a second time down here with the, you could say, cleaned up look. So not so many tied notes. So if you compare it up here, actually, let's move this. There we go. So like comparing this bar to this bar, so we have that quarter note, eighth note, an eighth note tied to an eighth note is the length of a quarter note, eighth note, quarter note. And then next we got your eighth note tied to an eighth note, which is the length of one quarter note, eighth note, two quarters. Then here we start with the two quarter notes, eighth note tied to an eighth note, which is one quarter note long, eighth note. But this is tied, so this eighth note is tied into the next bar. This eighth note is also tied into the next bar. We cannot make this a quarter note, even though an eighth note tied to an eighth note is a quarter note long, because we don't have enough room in the bar. It has to tie over. So that ends up looking the same in terms of an eighth note being tied across the bar. But then we have an eighth note, two quarter notes, two eighth notes. So not a bad idea to look at both and try and get used to counting both ways. So I'll demonstrate a little bit of both here. So I have it up here first and then switch over to the other way. Now as far as counting this, or learning the new thing, so you've already learned this rhythm and this one. So let's cover this rhythm first. So this one, turn this up some. Okay. That one is 1, 2, 3, and. So a good idea just to get used to that. So again, that's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. Now the next bar comes in on the upbeat of 1. So with this, hold on, I might be getting ahead of myself. So what I just now did is I played this highlighted bar 4 times in a row. I'm going to do the same thing here. So again, we're coming out on the upbeat of 1. So this time we're going to go and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and. So let's go back here. I'm going to count off 4 so you can follow along, and I'm going to play it 4 times through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. On to the next bar, 4 times through. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and. You notice when I counted off 4, I didn't start playing on the next downbeat. I waited until that. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4. It came in on that upbeat of the 1. So that might be a tricky part. Let's play both of these together now. 1, and I just play through it. I'll do all 4. I'll just do 4 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and. All right. So hopefully that little bit of practice will help you get the 2 new things down. Now it's time to play the whole thing. Remember, count it out loud. It's going to help you immensely. So one thing you can do to help prepare yourself for this rhythm, as I'm playing it, count along with me. Don't even worry about strumming anything yet. Just practice counting along to this until you feel comfortable with that rhythm, and then you apply the chords. Here we go. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and. Let's do that again, looking at the harder way of reading it. 1. Here, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and. Oh boy. All right, let's go to 120 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. And 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. And no need to let this ring out all 4 beats. Just hit it and move on. It doesn't need to ring out all 4 beats. In fact, it's better if you do not let that ring out all 4 beats for practice purposes, because we want to get to that next take as soon as possible. So even though that says it's a whole note, we're just going to ignore that whole note. It's just easier to fill up the bar that way. So hit it and move on. All right, 180. And yes, 180 is totally fine speed for any of this stuff. Just get where you can. What you did in your video was quite good. That was perfectly fine. Let's go back up to the easier to count way. 180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you end up getting faster, there's 240 for example. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now I'll go back to 180 for the repeats and back down to the harder to read way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, any questions come up, let me know. So yeah, as far as like getting this thing down, don't work with the metronome until you feel comfortable with the entire rhythm. So you might need to take the first day and just practice the new rhythms as demonstrated at the beginning. Get comfortable with that, and then put the whole thing together. So let's just see how it goes this week. If it ends up being too difficult to do all the new stuff in one go, that's okay. I'm just curious how it'll turn out. So let's see what happens. All right. Any questions, let me know. I'll see you again next week.